Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm out here in the workshop and I'm going through some projects that I need to finish up. Since it's already end of March and spring is pretty much here already, I better get started. I got 4 Kratons and there's more or less to do on each one. They're all a bit individually built, so I thought it would be nice to show you a short rundown of each one and the parts that we used. So here we go. Let's call this Kraton number 1, the titanium one. Now this one is not an upgraded truck. It was never really a truck to begin with. It's basically all built from spare parts and aftermarket parts. So from the front, Arrma 4mm shocks, RPM arms. We got the Typhon Thallium bumper, and I'm gonna add RPM bumper as well. Scorched titanium 3mm thick towers, and I believe this is the what you can call the early style. I think nowadays he makes them 4mm thick instead. These are just dianodized stock parts, and same with the top steering plate. For the front chassis brace, it's just a GPM one, and so is the front diff mount. Here's a V3, the older style non-sliding motor mount, and I don't know if I'm going to keep that one or use an M2C or the Arrma V4 and up sliding one. So we'll see. Scorched titanium chassis, Blankenstein RC rear chassis brace, and I don't think these guys are in business anymore, but when they were, they made really nice parts in my opinion. For the rear, Arrma 4mm shocks, RPM arms, RPM wing mount, and this is a T-bone style bumper that I actually made myself out of a piece of scrap plastic. Acts as a little protection in the rear and also acts as a skid plate. So if we lift this up, show you the chassis from underneath. This is really a nice and sturdy chassis, and I just love the titanium material and the finish. I believe this is glass blasted or even maybe diamond blasted, I don't know, but it does feel really nice and sturdy. And while this is the heavier option for the aftermarket chassis for the 6S series, it does feel really nice. Now for the rest of the driveline, the diffs and the diff housings and everything are from a Thallium V3 as well. So these are just the regular 6S diffs, not the newer LSD ones or anything. And these are all shimmed and filled with oil and ready to go. And for the rear I use 10K, and center is 150K on this one, and front 60K, and that's factory team associated CST diff fluid. So anyway, moving on to the electronics. For the servo, I'm probably going to use an SRT servo, and radio system, my new favorite, FlySky MB4, or maybe just a regular Tactic system. This is a Firma 150, and I found this on a pretty good deal. It was brand new in an open box, so I just went with that. For the motor, this is just my mock-up motor. It's an old BLX 2050 kV, and motor wise, I think my plan was kind of to go with the Surpass Hobby Rocket 4082 1720 kV motor, but since Horizon or Spektrum decided to make the wires come out of the ESC body and then up with 4.5mm bullets, I don't really see a good way to make that connection right there. I don't know why they made it the old kind of what I call the Arrma BLX 185 style, instead of just leaving the 6.5mm bullet connectors right there, or just made adapters like they made on the BLX 200. Anyway, my plan kind of failed a bit right there, since, like I said, I don't really want to cut the wires of the motor or on the ESC. So my plan B is basically to use another motor from Surpass Hobby, and this is the also called the Rocket and the Taurus series, and this is a 4274 and a 1900 kV. I never tried this motor in anything else before, but I think it's gonna be really nice in this one. The truck is a little bit heavier and stuff, and I can just make a really quick solder connections right there, and just make some short wires to hook up to those 4.5mm bullets, and just keep the ENC and everything intact. So that's gonna be nice. Another bit interesting thing with this Firmware 150, although it's a bit old news by now, or the different firmwares. When I first hooked this up and wanted to check the items, I got a bit confused, since I had 12 items, but the manual only showed 11. So let me hook this up and show you real quick. Well, I don't know if I do anything quick really, but let me try to do this quick. We're gonna hook that up, and we're gonna use the wire from this one. Just gonna hook that up right there. There we go. And this is the Hobbywing program card that I use for my Max 6s and my Max 8s. It's really a good little program card to have out in the field and stuff like that, and change the values, or if you have to. So so this one is hooked up, and there we go. We see I have this is item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, this to me, this seems a bit strange, because the manual that was included with the ESC has 11 items for the 150. So what I did was that I hooked up my Hobbywing LCD program box. Now, this is a pretty nice box that you can upgrade and check items and values and everything on the Hobbywing products, or most of them anyway. But with this one, you can actually hook up the Firmware 150 through a PC computer, and upgrade and check values and everything that way. You can't use this LCD box to check the items or values on the Firmware 150. It doesn't let you do that. It doesn't let you connect to the ESC, but it does act as a gateway between the PC computer software and the ESC. These are some screenshots from a PC or from a laptop, and this is a bit interesting, because we got the running mod, drag brake force, low ball cutoff, dear start mod brakes with brake force, and right here we have the BEC voltage, 7.4 volts. I already changed that value just to see if I could do it, and the rest. And here we have overheat protection, and I find this a bit interesting, because I think this might just be a future upgrade. And so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that makes sense with the program box. Now, for this one, when it's hooked up, I have, this is the Spektrum USB link. I forgot to mention that. This is what the software is called. And over here I have available versions. I have B212, B211, and B303. And on my Firmware 150, I have the B303, which I first thought was a newer one than the B211 and B212, but it's not. This is the initial version. Anyway, so now using this kind of program card, I kind of learned a couple of things. I never had any problems with this using it with the Hobbywing ESCs, but it might not be such a good idea to use this on a rebranded Hobbywing ESC. It doesn't matter if it's a Firmware 150 or any other ESC, really. If you're not exactly sure that you have an exact programming chart that is 100% correct, you might just change the wrong value, because you're kind of changing the items and the values on the items blindly with this one. So it's always a good idea to have the correct program box for your ESC. So anyway, what I did was that I bought the Spektrum Smart ESC Programmer. And I don't know if I'm going to turn this off before I hook this one up. And while this might be a necessary investment or a necessary cost, it's hooking up the Firmware 150 through the computer and using the LCD box, if you already have one of these as a gateway. That's nice, but it's not really a viable solution out in the field. So while this one might be an unnecessary cost, it's also a pretty good investment, I think, because I'm probably gonna end up buying more of these Firmware 150s, since Horizon now sells them in a bunch of different cars. So I see this as a good investment, and I can check the values and items correctly, and I can also upgrade and stuff through this one more correctly, I guess. The Hobbywing one might work for now, but you never know if Horizon or Spektrum changes their PC program and stuff. So anyway, let's turn this on, and here's just a program box version, I think. And here we go, connecting ESC and B303. So that's my software version. And here we have running mod, drag brake, cutoff voltage, punch level, max brake, max reverse, BC voltage, neutral range, 9, timing. And then it jumps to 11. So I guess 10 is not an option really to set, and that's probably why it's grayed out in the PC software screenshot right there. And number 12, we have LipoCell's Auto Calculate. So I have decided to keep the B303 firmware in this ESC. Basically due to, there's a couple of reasons. I don't really know if I upgrade or to the newer one, if I'm able to bring this firmware, the B303, back. It might be possible, but then again, I don't know that for sure. So I'm just going to keep it for now. And And the other reasons for that really is this option number 3, and it's the cutoff voltage, the LVC. And I really like to be able to set this in a couple of different stages. And this one has it has auto low, auto medium, and auto high, and this is the one I usually use. And most of my batteries cut off at 3.6 volt per cell then, which I like. So I'm really nice to keep that option. Now, the other thing that I have on this one, and I think why I was thinking of upgrading to a new one, is the BEC voltage. I already have 2 options really, 6.0 and 7.4, so I'm all good there. And I don't really see any reason to upgrade to the new one. Now, if you check the new one, here's the initial production version, B303, and here's the new one, the firmware B211 and B212. And I have no idea why the newer one uses a lower number, but anyway, it says right here, improve acceleration power. So more power, which is nice, I guess, but I don't really know what they did right there with the ESC. If you check this one, this is from Kraton V5 manual, and over here we have punch setting level 4 and motor timing degree 22.5. And also, if you check this is from Horizon site for just the Firma programmable options, and same thing here, so level 4 and 22.5. So I guess they ship the ESCs with the same parameters, even if you're buying this as a spare part, or if you're just buying for another project, or if you get it included in a newer Arrma V5 vehicle. And as you may have noticed earlier, my ESC with the BO3 was chipped with the punch at level 3 and the timing at 0. So I don't know if they just, what they meant with more power is that they just upped the value on the punch and upped the timing, or if they did something else with the ESC, except for just removing a couple of items and ending up with 8 of them. I think the least could have included the LVC cutoff instead of being that being like one stuck value. So we'll see if maybe there's future updates coming. We don't know. So let me turn this off, and I guess we can just conclude my ramblings right there with the electronics. So conclusion, I've just got a few hours to finish this up. Really, it will be really fun to try this Kraton out. Well, they're all fun, I guess, but I never had one with a titanium chassis before. I just heard good stuff about it, really, but as for the towers, I'm a bit curious on why the thickness was changed to 4 millimeters, and I guess we'll see if that was about strength or perhaps less flex. I really don't know. I'm just guessing. So and that kind of concludes this build, I guess, or at least what you see right here. And since my ramblings usually end up being rather long, and the videos being rather long, I'm gonna split this Kraton rundown on each ones in different parts, and make just a couple of videos of them I guess 4 of them. So thanks for watching this one, and hopefully you will watch the next one as well. Thank you.